One of the reasons why I found this compelling is not necessarily that I'm trying to incentivize you guys to go electric. I got electric cars, I got gas cars. I prefer to drive the electric car. I haven't been to the gas station and I don't know how long. But one of the reasons why this is an important conversation for us to have, because Cadillac unveiled the new Escalade yesterday. But here's the key. It's chock full of technology. It's forward. The reviews that I've seen, because I watch a lot of car channels, the reviews that I've seen said that it was an incredible vehicle and it has great design cues and all of this other type of stuff. And they're going to have the electric Escalade. It's called the Escalade IQ, along with the regular gas powered ones. But here's the key. It starts at $130,000. The new Escalade IQ starts at 130. That's the starting price before you add anything else onto it. It starts at $130,000. I'm doing pretty well in life. My bag chasers, my Patreon members, they know exactly how much I make. I'm doing pretty well in life. When I seen that price tag, I was appalled. I was very much appalled. And I'm like, who is this for? Who is this for? It certainly ain't for you guys. You know why? Because they are completely pricing you guys out. There is going to be a huge gap between those that have and those that don't. Don't worry about it. We're going to get into it. I want you to see what it is that you're looking at first before we start to have this conversation.
When it comes to American luxury, few brands carry that title better than a Cadillac. For the last 120 years, if you were looking for all things American and all things luxury, you were looking at this brand. Now, as the rest of the industry continues to move toward electrification, Cadillac is ready to move alongside with the introduction of their most important EV ever, the 2025 Escalade IQ. It's built on a dedicated Ultium electric vehicle architecture. It offers up to 450 miles of range, up to 350 kilowatts of DC fast charging.
So it offers up to 450 miles of range. Okay, so cool. Now we're getting to the point to where we've solved for range anxiety and all of this other type of stuff, right? Brian B said, not this zesty. Yeah, this is zesty because I tried to find a video that had the least amount of music in order to be able to illustrate my point. I don't really care what it is that he do in his bedroom. The only thing I care about is whether or not this illustrates what it is that I'm trying to convey over to you guys. Redesign, long wheelbase, huge, probably won't even fit inside of your garage. But I bet you didn't know that 1 in every 3 large utility vehicles, SUVs, luxury large utility vehicles, roughly 1 in 3 tend to be an Escalade. Did you know that the last Escalade, the last version of the Escalade, the one that's outgoing now that they're starting to replace it with the new ones, I bet you didn't know that they sold over 1 million of these things. Literally, they have sold over 1 million of the outgoing version of the Escalade. I bet you didn't even know that. And so the question that you start to have to ask yourself is, who the fuck is out here spending this type of money? Because the outgoing one is expensive as fuck, especially if you're talking about the Escalade Platinum. And now they start at $130,000.
And as you can see, it has a design that is bold and brash, exactly what you'd expect from a vehicle with the Escalade badge. So today I'm actually out here in Spring Studios in New York City with the brand new 2025 Escalade IQ. And now that we finally have this vehicle in the sheet metal, let's go ahead and take a first look.
All right, I don't care about all of that. All right, so let me show you the inside now. Here's the back.
Like a bigger version of the Lyric perhaps, but the rear of the car is definitely a little bit more controversial in its design, but it also is instantly distinguishable as a Cadillac with the same kind of bold LED taillight design. That 1000 E4 badge I suspect is probably the Newton meters of torque, where it's 1000, and then the E4 will mean it comes standard with all-wheel drive and dual electric motors. And then of course,
all right, so let's move forward. Let's look at the inside. Hold on, let me see if I can find the inside. Cool. All right, so let's see if we can get to the inside.
the kilowatts on a level 3 DC fast charger. It also has a 19.2 kilowatt onboard charger, which is definitely needed considering the battery capacity. Cadillac says you should at home. Now, sadly, because this is a very early prototype model, I'm not allowed to sit in this vehicle and I can't touch all the components, but I can at least show you guys this interior. And first of all, if you guys thought the exterior was bold and brash, the interior is also very futuristic, very next generation.
I think that the interior is absolutely gorgeous. I think that the interior is absolutely gorgeous. It kind of looks like a version of both of the cars that I got now. My Mercedes S-Class got the one large one that go up like that, except for they have the whole curved display, 35 inches on one side. I don't know how much it is on the other side. The passenger can actually watch movies and stuff like that. I think it's cool. I think it's absolutely dope. 130,000? Fuck. 130 bands starting for an electric vehicle? Insane, bro.
In fact, Cadillac is basically giving a middle finger to the Mercedes-Benz Hyperscreen, because what you're seeing here is a 55-inch, that's right, 55-inch curved display that stretches basically from the driver's side all the way over to the passenger side. As you can see, it's comprised of two different screens. This is, of course, going to be using the latest software from Cadillac. They said they actually partnered with Qualcomm Tech to develop the software for it. It'll have Google integration kind of built in. However, as you guys heard, GM is also doing away from Apple CarPlay, which I'm assuming this model will also do away from that. They're saying that the software with Google is going to basically replace that. But if you guys have seen this interior before, if it looks familiar, it's because they basically took it out of the Celestiq, which is their uber luxury $340,000 hand-built luxury EV. So you can see
Cadillac is building a $340,000 EV. Interesting.
Here with the two screens, it really, again, gives it a futuristic look. You also have another screen over here, which I believe measures 11 inches, where you can control all your usual functions for the vehicle. That screen also is tilted upward. The steering wheel, you can see it has a version of Cadillac's latest Super Cruise. If you guys are thinking this would have Ultra Cruise, technically the Celestiq will have Ultra Cruise first. That's kind of next gen over Super Cruise, but this, again, is still one of the best hands-free driving systems you're going to.
I actually know one of the engineers that worked on this over in Warren here in Warren, Michigan. Let's break this down. I want to show you something really quickly. All right. I want to get into something really quickly. I want to show you and break this down for you so you can understand the difference between what's going on and what's about to happen in your lives. Cadillac Escalade IQ is finally here, riding on a bespoke platform powered by General Motors Ultium EV powertrain and batteries. The $130,000 Escalade IQ looks distinctly different than a traditional. $130,000 look distinctly different than the original. There it is, ladies and gentlemen. That's $130,000. That's a whole house. Whatever it was that your parents and your grandparents had bought, now you got to drive it. And a depreciating asset. That's it. Get used to it. You're going to be living in your car. Get used to it. Starting off at 130, you're probably going to be paying about 160 by the time you leave the dealership with taxes, possibly dealer markups, depending on when it is that you buy it. And then you got to pay for the insurance. Your tags is probably going to cost somewhere around, depending on where you live, maybe $600-700 every year. Insurance is going to be out of fucking control because how it is that they insure electric vehicles is much different than how it is that they. Yo, look, I have 4 cars. I got the Porsche. I have and it's the electric Taycan. I also have the Mercedes, the S-Class. I have the Tesla, and I have the Hyundai, which is my personal vehicle. All right. I got the Hyundai Tucson. You guys picked it inside of the Patreon. That's what it is that we bought. All right. Here's the thing. I pay about $1,400 a month in insurance on all my vehicles? Yep. I pay about $1,400 a month in insurance on all of my vehicles. I can't even imagine what the insurance is going to be on the Lamborghini. I can't even imagine what the insurance is going to be on a Lamborghini, right? You buy a few $1 million house, you're going to be paying the equivalent of about $80,000 a year in property taxes. Significantly more if you go over to Texas, Florida, or even Chicago. Significantly more if you go into any of these states that have no income tax because they got to make up for it in other things. You're going to be paying an egregious amount in property taxes. What am I trying to convey to you guys? This is nice. Awesome screens. It's going to be some girls that get it. It's going to be some guys that celebrate it. They're going to be stunting on y'all. They're going to be riding on y'all. And they're going to be telling y'all how you ain't shit if you ain't getting one, right? What am I trying to tell y'all? What am I trying to tell y'all? I'm trying to tell you that if you don't divest yourself until you can actually justify buying it and then your assets pay for whatever your luxuries are, if you don't divest yourself from this lifestyle, you're going to forever be broke. And this question that I asked you in the beginning of the live stream when I said, how much are you keeping versus how much are you making? You will never, ever be able to close that gap. You will never, ever be able to close the gap. And the one thing that I know about our culture specifically is that we got to have a nice car. We got to have a ride. Listen, if you don't have a ride, in our opinion, you're not even rich. They don't care how much money you're making. They don't care how much money you're bringing in. If you don't have a ride, if you're not riding clean, then you're not rich. If you don't live in a 4,000, 5,000 square foot house, you are not rich. If you did not move down to Miami, where all of the insurance companies are pulling out because literally in parts of Miami that they're already under or at basically the same as sea level, and we know that they're going to start getting washed out as sea level rises. If you don't live in Miami down here with the rappers and DJ Khaled, sucks for you. You're not rich. If you don't have a money phone, if you're not riding around with a bust down watch and then a bunch of lab grown diamonds inside of your chain, then you're not rich. The new rich is the people that then understand that they don't have to justify themselves for people that don't give a fuck about them anyway. The new rich is people that don't have to justify themselves for people that don't give a fuck about them anyway. You're going to have, if you're ever going to get anything, you cannot do both at the same time. You're going to have to pick a struggle. Either you're going to struggle with the idea that people are going to criticize you for stuff that they don't even know or give a fuck about in the first place, and then run your check up and run your bag up and keep the majority of the money because you know what it is that you got going on, or you're going to have to live on the other side of that, right? You're going to have to live on the other side of it where you're going to get in this rat race. You're going to continue to run the debt up because the debt is at like 1.5 trillion or more, right? Something like that. Credit card debt specifically. And you're going to have to continue to run in this rat race, and that you're going to have to always try to impress people that have no vested interest in what your life is supposed to be like or your success. At some point, if you ever want to break away from the rat race, you're going to have to make a decision that A, I do not care about what these other people think. They do not live with me. They don't have to pay my bills, and they're never going to have to. They're not even going to be around when I retire. Or B, you can continue to run in a rat race and impress hoes that was going to give it away to the dude that they liked anyway for free. At some point, you're going to have to make a decision. The choice is yours.